So, I've released a couple of videos now, and I don't even know if the people who are watching these videos are the same people who used to watch them back when I used to post them in 2024, but in case some of you have restarted watching my videos, you probably noticed that I have been missing for a whole year. Now, I'm making this video today pretty much just to explain what's happened and kind of give my insights of how you can bounce back when you feel like you've gone off trail a little bit. I think to start, I'll just briefly go back to how I really started this journey in the first place, what led me to make videos in the first place, and how I completely changed. This was back in 2022. It was my 15th birthday, and I realized that I didn't really have anyone to invite to my birthday. I'd always been a person who couldn't wait for their birthday. I'd always organize something, even if it was small, but I always had people to invite. I remember back when I was like a kid in year 6, year 7, I'd invite like the whole class. It would be something usually more for like what boys liked, like, I don't know, like a whole football match, stuff like that. It came to high school. Here in the UK, a lot of people would consider like year 7 to be high school, stuff like that, but in Italy there's middle school, high school, all that stuff. But when it came to like year 9, year 10, I didn't really have anyone to invite. Anyway, this small problem of not having enough people to invite was kind of the tip of the iceberg, a moment of realization that I wasn't where I wanted to be in my life. I just turned 15, and I was at a point where I didn't even have enough people to invite to have a decent party. Some of the people I had to end up inviting were people that, despite the fact that we were good friends, I hadn't seen them in months. I didn't really hang out with anyone. Outside of school, I had no life. And that's where the journey started. Self-improvement started, I got into gym, I got into all those other good habits, but I did also contemporarily, once I started improving my social life as well, got into, let's say, some bad habits. Drinking, staying up late. And originally, it didn't seem to affect the other side of my life, the more like healthy side, because I was actually getting better marks when I was more motivated during the week, knowing that I had these nights out that I could do. However, it would later on become more of a problem. So during 2024, I started uploading videos, and you can see the old videos I used to make. And the videos were of a mixed variety of content, although during the end I did try to niche down more into like school stuff and productivity in school, because that's more what I believed I was specialized in. Because in the end, I am still just 17 now. I was 16 at the time, and there's still much that I can improve on, and I believe that productivity at school was probably the subject I knew the best at the time, and it was probably the best way that I could help the community and the people on self-improvement around me. Because in the end, gym, I am still quite skinny, I'm quite lean, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of people who watch my videos who are probably in a better situation than me, so I don't really feel like I can give that much advice, except if it's like has to do with cardio stuff or like consistency, because I'm kind of good at that. But at the same time, it's not a subject that I'm best at. So I thought that productivity at school was the best thing to do, and I did start uploading daily. And that was such a big thing. I used to wake up, record 3 videos, and I would have a lot of time to upload all the videos when I had like rest periods and I wanted to like have days where I just socialized and didn't really work. I still had like enough videos because I had like a big stock just because I recorded so many every morning. However, I went through something that I call burnout. And there are many reasons why I went through this, let's say, burnout stage. So back at this time in 2024, I was grinding. It wasn't just the YouTube stuff, it was also the schoolwork, mostly the schoolwork. It was my last year of school in Italy. I am in Italy now, but it was my last school year in Italy before I would move to the UK. And I'm currently actually just on holiday in Italy, so by September I'll be back in England. And so pretty much I was motivated to get the highest mark possible so I could finally get rid of Italian school, which I believe was very stressful and quite useless if you ask me, and finally leave to go in England where I could actually study subjects of my choice, and it was much better because I also chose subjects I was interested in, such as business, etc. So I grinded that year, and with that grind I made some enemies. I had some times where I believed I wasn't good enough at socializing, but I didn't really care because I had my grind, I had my community, and I was happy like that. By the time it was over, I worked so hard to reach this objective of finishing Italian school that by the time it was over, I kind of felt like I was lost. I had shifted my focus to making YouTube videos. However, it just didn't feel as purposeful when it didn't have this clear end goal in mind. Sure, I wanted to like be rich, make money off of YouTube, but I didn't really see the end goal. I didn't really see myself as someone who would make these videos. At least that was temporarily, and it could have been a symptom of everything just happening a bit too quickly. I did look to make like some courses and some private calls that I would make I would have with people, where I would, let's say, give them advice based on what they would tell me, and it was also based on that school productivity stuff which I used to make content on my videos. However, at the same time, I was so worn out from all the work that I did in the summer that all those bad habits that I got into in 2022, 2023, I got back into them. And what started as a very productive summer where I was working to build this business, it quickly turned into a summer of me just partying, hanging out with degenerates, and pretty much just wasting all those months. And my productivity fell. I no longer had motivation. I no longer had that drive, that anger that I felt when I first started self-improvement, because I already had friends, had a good social life. I already knew that I was very capable at school and just generally at working and being productive. So I no longer had motivation, and my productivity just fell. Now it's 2025. My social life has improved. It's through the wall. At school, I'm getting the highest grades in the whole college. However, inside, I didn't feel the same as I did when I was here in Italy with a worse social life. And the reason that was because I somehow felt as if I was no longer grateful of being myself, and when I didn't have the company of other people, I didn't really know what to do. my purpose had directed itself completely towards school. So when I didn't have anything to do school-wise or friends-wise, I genuinely just stood at home and scrolled on my phone, which was something that I swore to never do back when I was in my grind here in Italy. So I think the main reason why I stopped making these videos was that I just lost my grind. I just lost the motivation. I didn't have that drive that I had when I started. And I did talk to some of my friends about this, and they said that it was a good thing that I didn't have a drive anymore, because I had a good social circle, no longer had any degenerates as friends. And I was making improvements in other branches of my life as well. But I didn't have that grind anymore, and I think the main solution, which is what got me back into this, is to go back to those different short-term motivators that I used to have and just keep doing them, or keep watching the content that motivated me on and on every single day to motivate me on the short term, while at the same time reading self-improvement books or books that are more long-term and give you a more open perspective of what to do with your life. So that's pretty much what happened. I'm back to the grind now. I'm working hard. But at the same time, I have realized that although it's important to work hard and to do those eat the frog tasks, it's also very important to give yourself a rest. And the mistake I think I made was staying at home too much. So now every day, it's the summertime, so I don't really have to go to school or to college or anything, but I'll still go out and find stuff to do. When I was in my grind, I kind of took that for granted. I usually went out at Saturday night with my friends, who at that time were degenerates, but other than that, I didn't really have anything to do, apart from maybe like going on a small walk around the house. So, long story short, it's always important to prioritize your time outside, because that will strengthen your mental health and it will allow you to work even harder when you go back to your work. And I'm making even more videos on like other things that are important for your purpose and to keep you motivated. So we can keep in touch through these videos, and I hope that you enjoyed and that you maybe feel inspired, or that you've learned something from watching this video. Keep a strong mind and stay like a lion.